This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa bagong Pilipinas.
Good evening. This is 13 News.
Let's get into the headlines right now. House prosecutors welcome the result of the day one of Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial.
Senator Rodante Marcoleta and 3 other co-accused now under custody of the authorities after being arrested.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. won't closely monitor the impeachment trial as he is focused on governance, according to Palace.
Good news tonight. Land Bank waives transfer fees starting tomorrow.
And watch party for Alex Ayala's match against Jasmine Paulini at the Philippine Sports Arena begins.
All these and more here on 13 News.
First in the news tonight, Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial officially began today with Senator Chis Escudero elected as the presiding officer of the Senate Impeachment Court.
The opening session saw spirited debate between the defense and prosecutors, with some constitutional objections raised during the proceedings. IBC News correspondent Earl Tobias has more details.
Pursuant to Rule 2 of the Rules of Procedures on Impeachment Trials, as amended, I move to elect Senator Judge Francis Joseph Guevara Escudero as the presiding officer of this impeachment court.
Objection, Mr. President, and may I allow to...
We proceed
Objection, Mr. President, I'm allowed to object and I'm allowed to explain my objection.
You are allowed to object, but we will proceed
No, Mr.
with
President.
the division
Mr.
of the
President,
House.
point of order.
Those who are,
Point of order,
those
Mr.
who are
President.
in favor of the
Mr.
motion
President,
of Senator
you're allowed to
Lacson,
explain para
please-
ma-convince mo nga yung
Please
iba.
raise your hand. We will vote by raising of hands. So, those who are in favor of the motion of Senator Lacson electing Senator Chis Escudero as the presiding officer, please raise your hand.
With 12 in favor, 8 against, Senator Judges elected Chis Escudero as presiding officer in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. The impeachment trial opened with both prosecution and defense teams presenting their identities and delivering opening statements marked by clashes between lead counsels. But the House prosecution panel did not expect the Senate Impeachment Court to order the return of the sealed Bureau of Internal Revenue box containing the tax records of Vice President Sara Duterte and her husband, Attorney Scarpio. And while the prosecution said that they respect the impeachment court's decision in handling the tax records, they had already filed a request asking the court to issue a subpoena for the same tax records believed to be inside the sealed BIR box and more.
It is because we issued a subpoena in the Justice Committee of the House. So, to be particular, it's ITR, Income Tax Return. And then the team realized that there are other documents pa pala from BIR that we need for this impeachment trial. So.
Meanwhile, the Senate Impeachment Court maintained that a 2/3 vote, or at least 16 senators, is required to secure a conviction. The prosecution accepted this ruling and had reiterated that they remain confident with the strength of their case.
Tanggap po ng prosecution na talagang debatable ito. Ang importante, maliwanag ang posisyon ng impeachment court, and for the prosecution, regardless of how we interpret the threshold, we are of course committed.
The prosecution's first stand earlier was to ask the Senate Impeachment Court to require the Vice President or her counsel to formally enter a guilty or not guilty plea for each of the articles of impeachment alleged against her. The defense, however, manifested that the Vice President had already filed her answer to the articles of impeachment. The Senate Impeachment Court sided with the defense, ruling that the Vice President is deemed to have already entered a plea of not guilty. The prosecution stressed they do not consider this as a setback to their case.
Hindi po kami talo. As a matter of fact, we are very much happy because impeachment is happening now. The impeachment trial is happening now. That is the most important part of what happened today. And we claim that as a victory for the prosecution.
This is only the first day of the trial. At yung mga napag-usapan ay mga preliminary matters pa lang.
Subpoenas have already been issued to the National Bureau of Investigation and other witnesses scheduled to testify this week for the Vice President's alleged grave threats against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker. Earl Tobias, IBC News.
Senator Rodante Marcoleta was arrested alongside co-accused former Congressman Mike Defensor and 2 others. This came after the Sandigan Bayan junked Marcoleta's motion. IBC correspondent Bea Peniza has the full report.
After being arrested by authorities through a warrant issued by the Sandigan Bayan, Senator Rodante Marcoleta has undergone booking procedures. At around 11:26 a.m., Senator Marcoleta was processed for booking. This came after the Sandigan Bayan denied the motion of Senator Marcoleta to suspend the hearing and stop the issuance of warrant. Authorities immediately placed the Sandigan Bayan under lockdown after the warrant of arrest was issued. Part of the booking procedures of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group or CIDG, Marcoleta was also brought to the PNP General Hospital. He may remain there for up to 2 days for medical examinations.
72 na po si Senator Marcoleta. Hindi lang po simple blood pressure at heartbeat natin makukunin sa kanya. Marami po siyang test sa pagdadaanan para sigurado ang kanyang fitness.
Although Remulla earlier said that Senator Marcoleta may stay at the PNP hospital for the time being, CIDG said there is still no commitment order. The return of warrant of arrest to the Sandigan Bayan will be carried out once Marcoleta is declared fit to travel. Meanwhile, 2 of Marcoleta's co-accused, former Congressman Mike Defensor and Joseph Espiritu, were also arrested. They are facing plunder and indirect bribery charges in connection with the alleged 75 million peso campaign donations to Marcoleta's senatorial bid last elections. They were transferred to the Quezon City Jail in Payatas, where they were now detained. Their arraignment is scheduled on July 10. Meanwhile, their co-accused Aristotle Viray remains at large. Bea Peniza, IBC News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. calls for clarity and credibility amid the absence of Vice President Sara Duterte in her own impeachment proceedings. Meanwhile, the palace maintained that Senator Rodante Marcoleta and Mike Defensor's arrest on plunder charges will not derail the impeachment trial. Harley Valbuena has the details.
It would be much easier to get to the bottom of everything if you can speak to the accused directly. Kung diretsong makapagsagot, di siyempre mas magiging maliwanag ang proseso.
This was stressed by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. amid Vice President Sara Duterte's absence on her impeachment trial. According to the President, if he was on the heel of BP Sara, he will insist on facing the trial. Nevertheless, President Marcos Jr. is unlikely to monitor the impeachment trial, according to the palace, as the President has more important work to do.
Mas marami pong dapat na trabahuhin ng ating Pangulo at hindi po siya uupo lamang para po manood ng impeachment trial.
Meanwhile, the palace believes that Senator Rodante Marcoleta's arrest over plunder charges would not affect the impeachment proceedings. This, as the President respects the law and the order of the court. The palace also hits back at former Congressman Mike Defensor, who was arrested alongside Marcoleta. Defensor questioned why they were jailed ahead of the real culprits who stole money from the public coffers.
Sana po ay minabdali din nila ang pagbibigay ng mga ebidensya, konkretong ebidensya, hindi lang puro pamidya. Sa korte na lamang po nila ito gawin at depensahan.
Malacanang then assured it will not interfere with the Senate in resolving the issue on the conviction threshold in the trial, which remains under debate as 3 senators face legal battles. The palace also trusts that Iglesia ni Cristo will respect the arrest of Senator Marcoleta. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
The impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte has taken another turn, with Senator Alan Peter Cayetano pushing for detained Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Rodante Marcoleta to be allowed to participate.
He argues their presence could add integrity to the proceedings. To help us understand the legal implications of this move, we are joined by Attorney Hans Santos of Santos and Maranan Law, a legal expert who will walk us through the constitutional and procedural issues at play. Good evening, Attorney.
Good evening to everybody.
Yes,
your question is if Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Rodante Marcoleta will be allowed to participate. Will it add integrity to the proceedings? If there is a situation where ideal, of course they should be allowed. But the problem is Senator Jinggoy Estrada is not only detained, but he is also there is a preventive suspension issued against him for 3 months. So if we allow him to participate, there will be a clash between the Senate and the Sandigan Bayan. Well, we cannot allow that. We should respect the jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan. In relation to Senator Marcoleta, since there is no suspension yet, perhaps the Senate can subpoena Senator Marcoleta to attend the proceedings, because I believe in the Senate rules, the senator judges should be should attend in person. So if the Sandigan Bayan will allow him to participate, then that's well and good. But if it does not, then we cannot force the Sandigan Bayan to let Senator Marcoleta appear, because to do so would be an infringement of the jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan.
Yes, Attorney, thank you for that. And our next question is, what legal implications might arise if Senators Estrada and Marcoleta are permitted to attend despite their detention? And how could this affect the integrity of the trial as a whole?
Well, it really depends on the Sandigan Bayan, because we have to respect the proceedings there, because it has jurisdiction now to try the 2 good senators. But if the Sandigan Bayan will allow them to personally appear before the Senate impeachment court, then well and good. I don't think it will negatively affect the integrity of the proceedings, because our Constitution specifically states that an accused is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Hans Santos, for your time. And since this is just the start, I hope you will be able to join us next time also as the trial comes along.
Okay, thank you for the invites. And of course, I will join you to enlighten our mga kababayan.
Yes, thank you, sir. The first day of the Senate impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte has ended, with proceedings set to resume tomorrow. In fact, the Senate has approved a 92-day trial schedule from July 6 to 26. Hearings will be held every Monday to Wednesday at 2 p.m. While starting on July 28, following the President's State of the Nation address and the opening of the new congressional session, trials will shift to Tuesday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Under the said schedule, the prosecution has 62 trial days to present its evidence and witnesses, while the defense has 30 days to present its case. The impeachment court will hear the articles of impeachment in a non-chronological order. It will first take up Article 4 in 11 trial days, which are the alleged threats against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker. followed by Article 1, the alleged misuse of confidential funds in 31 trial days. Next is Article 3, which is the alleged corruption at the Department of Education in 8 trial days. And lastly, Article 2, the alleged unexplained wealth, false ends, and continued business interests in 12 trial days. Throughout the trial, both sides will present evidence and witnesses, while the impeachment court may issue subpoenas when necessary. The court can also cite witnesses or parties in contempt if they refuse to appear under lawful orders. The respondent or the defense team can file objections or seek dismissal if the presented evidence permitted under the applicable rules are insufficient. After both sides rest their cases, the prosecution and defense will deliver their closing arguments before the senator judges vote on each article on impeachment. The trial may end in either conviction or acquittal. If convicted, VP Sara will be removed from office and may also be permanently disqualified from holding public office. She may also face separate criminal or civil cases before the regular courts. And if acquitted, she will remain in office while possibly subject to the constitutional rules governing any future impeachment complaints. Coming up next, Super Typhoon Bavi batters Guam and Mariana Islands while approaching the Philippine area of responsibility. Stay tuned, this is 13 News.
Be a part of the IBC 13 family. We are looking for a motor pool supervisor who can be part of our team. Interested applicants may email their application and resume to ibctv13hrd@gmail.com or send to Administrative Department, IBC 13, Capitol Hills Drive, corner Zuzua Regli Street, Diliman, Quezon City. Pangarap mong maging milyonaryo? Sa PCSO Lotto, magkakatotoo. Mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, mas pinalaki ang mga jackpot prizes. Araw-araw ang bola, kaya more chances of winning sa PCSO Lottery Draws. Lunes hanggang Linggo, tuwing 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m.
Good news. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s state visit to Canada has secured new investments and stronger bilateral ties for the Philippines. Through meetings with Canadian business leaders, the president secured $2.5 billion in investments across the mining, critical minerals, energy services, and IT BPM sectors.
I highlighted the Philippines' strategic role as a trusted investment destination and reliable partner for Canadian businesses seeking to diversify operations and expand in the Indo-Pacific region.
The Philippines and Canada also elevated their relations to a strategic partnership, with both sides agreeing to expand cooperation in defense and security. The Philippines-Canada Free Trade Agreement is also targeted for completion this year to help reduce tariffs between the two countries. President Marcos and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney also visited a Jollibee in Vancouver, where the president met with members of the Filipino community and reaffirmed his commitment to protecting their rights. The two governments are also working to streamline the recognition of professional licenses and certifications.
Good news for Land Bank customers. The bank will waive fees on all online fund transfers starting tomorrow, July 7. The zero-fee policy covers InstaPay and PesoNet transactions made through the Land Bank mobile banking app and iAccess, including transfer made by overseas Filipino bank clients. Land Bank Chairman and Finance Secretary Frederick Go hopes more financial institutions will lower or eliminate digital transaction fees for Filipinos. Meanwhile, Land Bank President and CEO Lynette Ortiz says the zero-fee initiative supports the bank's goal of making digital financial services more accessible.
Super Typhoon Bavi is battering the Mariana Islands and the U.S. territory of Guam while approaching the Philippine area of responsibility. Videos show Bavi lashing rota in the northern Marianas with torrential rains and fierce winds toppling trees and flooding roads. Several streets in Guam are impassable as authorities order forced evacuations. According to Pag-asa, the center of Bavi was last spotted 2,120 kilometers east of southeastern Luzon, with packing winds of 205 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 250. It is moving west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour and is expected to enter PAR between Tuesday evening and early Wednesday, to be named Inday. While not seen to make landfall, Bavi will pass near the seas off Batanes before heading toward Taiwan. Pag-asa says tropical cyclone wind signals will still be raised over northern and eastern Luzon, with rains and winds expected in Cagayan Valley by Thursday or Friday. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has already ordered a whole-of-government disaster response pre-disaster risk assessment already conducted by the NDR-RMC. In the meantime, easterlies will continue to prevail over parts of the country. In Cagayan Valley and Aurora, expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rains. Expect the same here in Metro Manila and the rest of the country due to localized thunderstorms. Coming up next, the Philippine Sports Commission is hosting a free watch party for Alex Ayala's match against Jasmine Paulini at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig. Stay tuned. This is 13 News.
Be a part of the IBC 13 family. We are looking for a human resources associate who can be part of our team. Interested applicants may email their application and resume to ibctv13hrd@gmail.com or send to Administrative Department, IBC 13, Capitol Hills Drive, corner Zuzwaregi Street, Diliman, Quezon City. Pangarap mong maging milyonaryo? Sa PCSO Lotto, magkakatotoo! Mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, mas pinalaki ang mga jackpot prizes. Araw-araw ang bola, kaya more chances of winning sa PCSO Lottery Draws. Lunes hanggang Linggo, tuwing 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m.
A tapestry of timeless traditions, culinary gems, fusion of culture and festivity, bound by generations of shared stories. Chinatown TV, every Sunday at 9 a.m.
Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala continues her outstanding Wimbledon campaign as she takes on Italian player Jasmine Paolini in the round of 16 match.
In support of Ayala, the Philippine Sports Commission hosted a free watch party for Filipino fans at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. We go now live to IBC News correspondent Eliza Insigne, who is at the venue. Eliza, what's happening there right now?
William, Angela, the crowd here is laser focused at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City as Alex Ayala is having a close battle against Jasmine Paolini in the round 16 of Wimbledon. Paolini is currently leading the game with a score of 3-2 with 15-30 points on the second set. Ayala seemed to be struggling at first as Paolini led the first set with a score of 6-4, but she's still able to save the game with her determination. Paolini has moved into the lead after a strong and confident performance in today's match. This is not the first time that Ayala and Paolini played against each other. Last February, the two played in Dubai Championship where Ayala pulled off 6-1, 7-6 victory in round of 16. That's why some fans that say that it is advantageous for Ayala to play again against Paolini because they already know each other's moves. Fans already showed support to Ayala even before the game started, saying this battle is historical.
She looks low, just gets over the net, and just stays so low. Probably could have gotten it on the first bounce. It's the margin didn't come through at all.
While the game is still ongoing, Ayala remains in a strong position in securing the victory. Supporters are eagerly watching the final moments, hoping to celebrate a well-earned win. William, Angela, if Ayala wins tonight, she will move on. William, Angela, if Ayala wins tonight, she will move on to the quarterfinals of 2026 Wimbledon Championship, where she will be having a match between Marta Kostyuk or Ashlyn Kruger, the winners of a round of 16. William, Angela?
Yes, thank you for the report, Eliza Insigne. Meanwhile, another Alex is making the country proud. Alexandra Diaz, the Filipina niece of Olympian Heidelin Diaz, shattered 2 youth world records at the IWF World Youth Championships in Cali, Colombia. The 15-year-old dominated the women's 48-kilogram division, lifting 98 kilograms in the clean and jerk class and resetting the total world standard with 175 kilograms, finishing her campaign with a sweep of 3 gold medals in her division.
The Department of Energy has released this week's estimated fuel price range. Gasoline prices may either decrease by as much as 1 peso and 75 centavos per liter or increase by up to 25 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, diesel prices are expected to go up between 1 peso and 50 centavos and 3 pesos and 57 centavos per liter. Kerosene prices are also projected to increase between 1 peso and 70 centavos and 3 pesos and 70 centavos per liter. The final price adjustments will depend on each oil company. The way Gilas Pilipinas ends their third window campaign after being defeated by Australia in the 2027 FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. The game ended with a score of 92-49, making the team's 4th straight defeat. Despite the loss, the nation's team still advances to round 2. Okay, this is the first day of the impeachment trial, and there's really a lot in store. It's going to be a very, very busy few weeks for us here at the studio and on site.
And to everyone viewing, make sure you keep watching IBC 13 because we will be covering hour by hour.
Yes, and those were the latest from the IBC newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and give you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I'm William Thio. This is 13 News. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.